There's something chilling, almost prophetic, about what happens when the narcissist drinks. You may have seen it. The shift, the flicker in their eyes, the unraveling of a soul that's already been hiding behind masks, and when that mask falls, oh friend, it falls hard. See, for the narcissist, alcohol isn't just a drink. It's a doorway. It cracks open whatever they've worked so hard to keep hidden. Addictions, obsessions, deep-rooted rage. Maybe it's not always booze. Maybe it's porn, gambling, sex, whatever promises them power for a moment. But today, we're talking about what happens when they get drunk, and believe me, it's not your average night out. When the bottle takes hold, so does the recklessness. The kind that makes your stomach twist. They don't care who they endanger. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. Ever seen someone insist on driving drunk because they can handle it? That's not just arrogance, it's entitlement. The narcissist feels above the law, above consequence. That steering wheel becomes their throne, and the road, just another stage where they act like God. Let's be clear. Drunk driving is a crisis no matter who does it. But when a narcissist is behind that wheel, they're not just ignoring the rules, they're rewriting them in real time. And they don't stop there. Maybe they hook up with someone they shouldn't, maybe they break a vow, and then, here it comes, they blame the drink. I didn't mean to. I was wasted. No remorse, just reruns of the same tired excuse. That's the tragedy of it. For the narcissist, alcohol isn't a mistake, it's a permission slip, a license to sin without repentance. And if they get caught, well, it's your fault for not trusting them. It's your words that push them. Always someone else's burden to carry. They just shrug it off, light another fire, and walk away from the ashes like they weren't even there. And then, there's the rage. You've seen it. Maybe you felt it. When a narcissist gets triggered with alcohol in their veins, it's not just yelling. It's explosive, destructive, dangerous. The air shifts. Walls get punched. The phones get thrown. Their face comes inches from yours, spitting venom you didn't know they had inside. And if you dare walk away, they'll block the door. Snatch your phone. Hide your keys. Not because they love you, but because they're afraid. Afraid of being exposed, afraid of consequences, afraid that you might reach someone who still sees the truth. I've had people whisper stories to me, tears in their eyes, hands trembling. They grabbed my throat, they say. They told me I made them do it. That's what the narcissist does under the influence. They don't just lose control. They give it away willingly. Because control isn't lost, it's weaponized. You might hear, well, anyone can get aggressive when they drink. Maybe. But here's the difference, the narcissist won't own it. Ever. The bottle isn't the problem. You are. Their cruelty. Just a reaction to your nagging. Their betrayal. Their excellence. Deserved. They bend reality until they're the victim, even when their hands are still clenched with rage. And that, my friend, is the heart of the matter. It's not just the drinking. It's the complete and utter rejection of responsibility. It's the spiritual rot that spreads when someone refuses to be held accountable. Not by you, not by God, not by the law. And that's what sets the narcissist apart. That's what makes them dangerous. Now, let's talk about what happens when the narcissist lets the liquor seep into their bloodstream and the mask starts to slip. Sometimes, brace yourself, they get wild. They'll pull you close like you're the center of the universe, as if no one else ever existed. The chemistry, electric. You might even think, Tava, this is the most passionate night I ever had. But don't let the heat fool you. Because behind that frenzy is a fractured mirror. Why? While you're looking into their eyes, they might be picturing someone else entirely. Someone they've been texting on the side. Someone who feeds their ego a little harder or a little louder. And in the heat of that moment, they might even say the wrong name. And just like that, the truth slips out. Because the narcissist isn't really there with you. Their body might be sure. But their heart, their mind, it's off collecting validation from another supply, somewhere in the shadows. You're just the backup, the placeholder, and the drink. That's what lets them blur the lines without shame. But the flip side, it's just as hollow. Sometimes they don't want anything. No touch, no closeness. Just bottle after bottle until they crash on the couch, dead to the world. Not because they're tired, but because they've replaced intimacy with intoxication. The drink becomes their partner. The joint, their solace. They don't need affection from you. They've already numbed the H with their substance of choice. And when you ask what happened, I was just drunk. That's their favorite getaway car. Blame it on the booze and move on like nothing happened. But hear me on this, alcohol isn't just a buzz for the narcissist, it's fuel. It's the high they crave when attention dries up. If it's not booze, it's weed. If not weed, maybe pills. Porn, gambling. Anything that gives them that spark of control, that false power that makes them feel like they're on top of the world. If only for a moment. They don't always need a person to feel alive. Sometimes it's the bottle that becomes their favorite lover. That shot glass becomes their cheering crowd. And you'll notice this if you pay attention. They always need something in their hand. Something to sip, to light, to chase. Because deep inside, the narcissist is a storm of anxiety. Twisted up, locked down, panicked in their core. They don't sit still well. They don't face the silence. And instead of prayer, instead of surrender, they reach for the next escape. I've seen it time and time again. I've lived it. People like this don't walk in peace. They sprint from pain. They'll tell you they're broke. They'll whine about bills and how you never help. But behind the curtain, they're spending every dime on what numbs them. Meanwhile, you're expected to carry the weight, to show up, to pay the price, not just financially but emotionally, over and over again. And all the while, they're pouring into a bottle what they should be pouring into you. Now, don't get me wrong. A little drink now and then doesn't make someone evil, but the narcissist doesn't know moderation. Everything is about extremes. They don't just drink, they drown. They don't just gamble. They spiral. And they don't just lie. They build entire castles of deception and dare you to knock them down. What's dangerous is that they often look clean. They know how to shine the surface. The ones who seem like the perfect parent. The ones who wave at the neighbors, smile at church, and say, "God bless you," like it's their job, but behind closed doors. And then there's a whole different movie playing, one full of secrets, shadows, and substance. Don't be fooled. Evil wears cologne and drives SUVs too. And then comes the question I hear all the time. Why don't they ever get what they deserve? Why doesn't karma catch up to them? People say, "Oh, I've seen narcissists live to be 90, full of pride, untouched by justice." But I ask you this. How do you know they're not suffering? What makes you so sure they've escaped judgment? Just because they post smiling selfies or show up in public with their hair done doesn't mean they're not breaking inside. You don't see the tears in the mirror. You don't hear the screams into the pillow. You don't know the weight pressing on their chest at 3 a.m. And some people walk around carrying depression like it's their last breath, but you'll never know it. They wear it well. They smile through it. And the narcissist, they've made an art form. They'll hurt hundreds and still pose like saints, but God sees. Pain has a way of collecting its due, whether through sickness, sadness, or isolation. it will find them. Sometimes that karma looks like a silent house. Sometimes it looks like a full bank account, but an empty soul. So don't waste your energy counting their days. Don't measure their downfall like it's your justice to serve. Just know this: nobody escapes the truth forever, not even the narcissist. Let me tell you something real. When the narcissist starts drinking, it's not just about numbing their pain. No, they've got an agenda. They want to take you with them. They don't just want company, they want contamination. They want to drag you down into the same pit they're crawling in. And make no mistake, that pit is deep. That pit is dark. That pit smells like smoke and shame and regret. They don't want to drink alone. Oh no. They'll offer you the shot glass like it's communion. When, drink with me, they'll say. Relax. Let's have fun. But what they really mean is, join me in the spiral, bah. You don't even see it at first. It's subtle. It's friendly. Just a little toast, a little escape. But the more you drink, the more they own you. And they know it. It's control disguised as camaraderie. It's seduction cloaked in influence. And if it's not the bottle, it's the pill. If it's not the pill, it's the blunt. If it's not the weed, it's the lifestyle. The late nights, the fast thrills, the slow spiritual death. You start to change. You start to bend. You start to fade into something you swore you'd never become. That's how it happens. That's how the narcissist drags souls down. Not with chains, but with invitations. You might have been healthy once. Pure, focused, strong. But then you got caught in the crossfire of someone else's self-destruction. Maybe you knew a person like that. A good person who fell in love with someone they shouldn't have. They were clean. Had goals. Then they met a narcissist who handed them a bottle and said, "This is how we do life." And now, that person drinks just to function, every single day. That's not romance. That's entrapment. That's a slow spiritual poisoning masked as love. Because the narcissist doesn't want a strong partner. They want a dependent one. They want someone just as broken, just as lost. Someone who won't walk away because they can't even stand on their own. The moment you need them, or need the substance they gave you, they've won. That's how they keep you. Not through love, through addiction, through disorientation, through confusion. And don't think for a second that you're their first love. No, no. Their heart belongs to the high, the thrill, the rush. That drink in their hand, needle, that's the real lover. That pill, that secret addiction, that's who they go home to. You're just the shadow in the background of the audience for their self-destruction. Now hear me on this. You don't have to go down with them. When they say, "Come with me," you say, "Not today, Satan." When they offer the bottle, when they light the joint, when they whisper temptation dressed as fun, you turn away. Because the price isn't worth it. The price is you. Your peace. Your calling. Your soul. But if you stay, if you watch closely, you'll notice something. When that mask slips, when the alcohol flows, the truth starts to ooze out. Oh, they try to keep it in. They fight to hold it back. But the bottle has a way of loosening lips and unlocking secrets. You ever heard a narcissist drunk? I mean, really drunk? The stories they start telling, the names they start dropping, the insults that spill out like venom. That's not the alcohol talking. Often, that's the truth they've been burying. It's ugly. It's raw. It stings. They'll tell you who they hate. They'll tell you what they really think of you. And the next morning, they'll say, "I didn't mean that." But let me tell you something, they did. The mask slipped. The filter broke. And for just a moment, you saw what's really behind the curtain. And that truth, that's your wake-up call. And maybe they start talking about someone at work. Some harmless friend they've been seeing a little too often. Maybe they mention a shady business deal a violent past, something they swore they'd never speak of. And in that drunk haze, they hand you the truth like a confession they never meant to make. And the moment they sober up, they panic, they cover, they gaslight. It was nothing, they say. You're imagining things. But you're not. You saw the real them. And now they're terrified that you'll never unsee it. And when the rage comes, oh Lord, run. Some pass out, some explode. Some shatter lamps and scream and hit walls. The rage isn't new. It's just been caged. And when the alcohol opens the door, it comes barreling out like a beast. The kind that puts holes in drywall and bruises on souls. The kind that sends police sirens wailing down the street. This is why so many toxic homes turn violent when the drinks come out. Because the narcissist can't contain what they've refused to heal. And if you're dealing with the covered kind, the quiet one, the one who always seems calm, don't be fooled. That mask is just thinner. Their truth leaks out slowly, almost sweetly, like poison in a cup of tea. But when the night's long enough, when the drinks have flowed enough, even the covert will say something they wish they hadn't. That's when you catch them. But that's when the light shines through the cracks. But listen to me, don't ignore what you see in those moments. Don't explain it away. Don't excuse it with, they were just drunk. No, that was real. That was the real them. And now you've got a choice. You can stay in the pit, or you can rise. You can let them pull you into the fire, or you can walk out with your head held high. But don't wait for them to change. Don't wait for the apology that never comes. Well, when the mask falls, believe what you saw. The truth, it's a gift, even when it hurts.